dude?
How are you?
Good, you doing alright?
Yeah, we're excited about this. It'll be fun.
Me too, I'm glad y'all can make it. Is Donovan almost here?
I saw him come in before me, and did you not see him?
No. Like he's here?
Yeah, I mean, he must have walked right past you.
No, I've been standing here this whole time and I haven't seen
Weird.
anybody.
I bet he's in the theaters waiting on us.
I haven't seen him.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the bathroom.
Yeah, what's our seat again?
G 10 through 17.
Okay, sweet. See you in there.
Alright, bye.
Every time I come to work, a new podcast. You're the new one podcast, 2 for 1.
Everyone can be an influencer now? Just like
I guess
pull
so.
a camera out
Yeah. And these two guys,
Wow.
these two dumb.
Stupid.
All they do is just sit there and just rant.
And then you okay?
Huh?
You look a little shaken up.
Yeah, no. You guys wouldn't believe what
Dude.
just happened.
I was looking for these.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk by Initial Okay, I'm Philip, and joining me this week, Donovan Thompson and Daniel Wingfield from Podcast 241, and also filmmakers in your own rights, correct?
Some days, sometimes.
yeah.
Working on it.
We're trying.
Well, first and
What
foremost,
is a film?
Yeah. Define
you
that.
are.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
First and foremost, thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
No, yeah, of course. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to Podcast 241, specifically for the Sonic review. I hear it's solid.
Sonic review is it's not only fast, like it's efficient,
Yeah.
but it is it's got a great guest on it.
I
Yeah.
thought so.
And
Some hot topics.
A not so great host on it.
Ah.
And
The Daniel Nader.
I didn't actually watch the movie, but that's pretty much par for our episodes, you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, we'll use that as a segue here. So, speaking of, you did see tonight's movie,
I did.
and we did see The Invisible Man, which is a remake. It's a present-day modern retelling of this story. I'm going to be honest, though. Actually, I've never seen the original. Have either of you guys seen the original?
haven't.
No.
Okay.
No.
I couldn't even tell you what decade it came out in.
Probably in the 1900s.
I mean, it's a
That's part of the
Universal
century,
movie.
yeah.
Maybe 60s.
Yeah.
Universal Monster
It
era.
was black and white.
No, if it's probably 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
When we like Dracula and all those are kind of known for being really innovative and like
But
they're.
when did those start coming out? Well, that was like 50s and 60s.
I mean, they didn't.
Because I thought that was all part
No, I
of like
think
the
it was
Cold War.
Dracula was like
Yeah.
20s and 30s and stuff. Remember when the skeleton gets rebuilt and how they reverse
Yeah.
engineered that? That's like 4:3 aspect ratio straight up.
That's true.
30s.
Fair enough.
I think no, definitely 20s and 30s.
Thank you for the cinema history.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no,
There you go.
that's good, right? We're providing context.
There you
That's
go.
all we're doing here.
Context, baby.
Always good. But no, so we're talking about The Invisible Man. It is from Universal. It is directed by Leigh Whannell or Whannell. I'm not really sure. Either way, he was a writer for a long time. Wrote for a lot of James Wan's stuff.
Okay.
James Wan's. But he directed a couple years ago a movie called Upgrade. I know. Did you
we
see
went to
that?
South, or I saw it at South by Southwest.
Oh, really? Was that there? Was
Okay.
it
Yeah, actually, I met Bloomhouse actually.
Oh, really? Jason
Yeah.
Blum?
Yeah, I had to go to an Arnold like Q&A next morning, and
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
I was bailing out, and he goes, "Should I go stay for the Q&A?" I said, "I gotta meet Arnold in the morning."
Hasta la vista, baby.
And so that's my Blumhouse story. Yeah,
That's awesome. But so did you saw Upgrade then, obviously?
Yeah,
What did you think of that one?
It was really well made. It was really good.
Yeah, and it was kind of like this one, kind of low budget.
Low budget, yeah.
But I don't feel, especially with this one, I don't feel like you would ever know that, really.
No, not
Like
at all.
maybe in a couple of the CG shots or shots where CGI was used, maybe. But I thought it was used sparingly enough, and that overall, just the movie was effective in a way that it didn't detract from it in any way.
Well, I mean, the beautiful thing about having a movie called The Invisible Man is that you can have
Your co-star
your co-star.
is really easy.
It's really easy to film on camera,
Yeah.
right? And so, like, you know, A, you say budget that way, and B, just the way they decided to film the movie and either shot design or just camera movement, whatever. It's really simple stuff, and the simplicity is kind of what makes the movie, I think, so good and so grand.
Yeah, what was the budget?
You know, I'm honestly not sure. I'd have to
If
look
it's
it up.
Blumhouse, it's probably right between 5 and 15.
Yeah, it's got
Really? That low, you
I
think?
think it's pretty low.
Yeah, normally
Wow.
he has like a cap at 5, but with Elisabeth Moss, that's being Universal, like an actual monster movie, I'd probably be like 5 to 15. It could be a little over, but
Wow. No, it looked really good and felt really tight for a relatively low budget film. Yeah, the cinematography was fantastic. But I mean, overall, I just think the pacing, the story pacing was just perfect. Like
Yeah.
the build up of the tension, the relief from the tension, the new build up, the mystery, the suspense. It was just so tight, and it was a very smartly written film in that way.
Yeah, we should mention he wrote the screenplay as well
did he?
as directing it. Yeah, and that was kind of the point I wanted to start with you guys at was, and we kind of talked about this the other day on your podcast, whereas like, you know, critics versus regular general moviegoers, where the opinion differs. But I see so many horror movies like now, especially like, I mean, it's the end of February. We're 2 months into the year. I feel like there have been 10 horror movies released already this year. But this is the first time in a long time, like genuinely in a scary movie, where I was like sitting up straight up, just kind of like anxious about what was going to happen in certain scenes and where it was going to go, and like it legitimately kind of freaked me out as to what was about to happen. And I just, did you guys, as far as scary movies go, how did you feel about this one?
well, I thought it was really effectively done in terms of, you know, again, like Daniel said, the pacing, the cinematography, and how it all kind of built on itself and kind of gives you those moments of tension and then the moments of relief, like, you know, all good horror films do. But, you know, one thing I think, you know, even though we're kind of like a resurgence in horror in the last decade, especially with James Wan, The Conjuring and Insidious and Jordan Peele, Get Out, and those kind of movies, I think, you know, some people personally, like for me, Hereditary, I didn't think Hereditary was just the bee's knees like everybody else said, right? People say bee's knees now?
This is the bee's knees.
As the saying goes. But I think that because people are getting, even something that's like, let's say an 8 out of 10, they're like calling it like a masterpiece horror-wise. And so we're kind of at the stage where like, if it's good, it's like amazing, right? But I think this one
We're just used to mediocre.
We're used to mediocre horror films, and we're getting this resurgence where, you know, quality is kind of starting to meet to like actual, you know, standards of what I would consider good filmmaking. And I thought this was good filmmaking.
I agree. I mean, I wouldn't say horror is a genre I gravitate towards at all.
Right.
But if it is, this is my kind, because this is psychological thriller horror, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that's the most satisfying for the most part. Movies like The Others, The Shining, you know, like these movies that don't rely on jump scares and gore and like, you know, trying to shock you into entertainment value.
Right.
They're writing a smart, intelligent, tension-filled story that if you invest in, you're going to be like on the edge of your seat the whole time. You know what I mean? Like that to me is good horror, because it's affecting me in a way that's like psychological, and instead of just grossing out, you know, oh wow, jump scare, oh no, another jump scare, you know, like to me that's not my kind of horror, and I have no really appetite for that.
That being said, though, I think the movie really heavily relied on jump scares. Yeah, it didn't have the horror, like, I'm sorry, not the horror, it didn't have the the gore aspect of it that we've seen, really happen a lot lately. But I think it really did rely on tension. And the thing is, I think you're talking about earned jump scares and like earned tension.
But I do feel like even the jump scares, a lot of them were like fake jump scares, where it would shock you into the next scene, with a loud sound effect, or even like that scene where it transitioned to the bacon frying. It was like a really jarring transition. It was like, wow.
You just spoiled the bacon. You just spoiled the bacon.
Yeah, that's the whole movie. It's about bacon.
Yeah.
Well, he was kind of playing on our expectations of what those, cheaper horror movies that use those cheaper scare tactics have kind of set us up to expect.
Yeah.
He kind of used that to his advantage,
Sure.
and then didn't follow through on what we're accustomed to as far as viewers and horror films. But I do think it was. I mean, it was like a psychological terror of an antagonist and of a type of horror film, but it started like it layered in all these elements, like you're talking about the script specifically, and you're kind of just going along with it, and then about the midway point, crazy stuff starts to happen, but then it all starts to add up, and I was just like, oh, this had some real thought put into it, and it just felt really like cohesive from beginning to end, like he had this picture in his head, what he knew what it was going to be beginning to end, and it just executed it really well, and not just efficiently, because I mean it's almost 2 hours, like full 2 hours, but it never like it even though a lot of the sequences are just Elisabeth Moss kind of wandering through different sets and kind of looking around. Exactly.
Yeah, but also the way he does it is the way he dollies out and like builds up information.
Yeah,
it's really intelligent way.
It's
Even
real.
like
Really
example, there's a moment where she's making a phone call, and at first you of course might think who's she calling, but the way the camera moves up, and then you get the voicemail, so it's like you get that tension of what's happening, where's the phone at, and then the voicemail, you're like, oh, she is for a fact calling Adrian,
right?
And things like that. It's just intelligent, structure in terms of like how we give the audience information and then build up and then a payoff, and then like, okay, now we know who she's calling, we now know the phone is where it's at,
right?
And that she's going to go to it. So it's just a smart film.
And I think even just things like sound design, right? Like sound design, this movie was very quiet, especially in terms of, at times the score would come in and it would kind of roar,
right?
But I would say like maybe 50% of this movie, the only sound you're hearing is like Elisabeth Moss breathing.
Yeah, which is
you know what I mean?
incredible.
And it's tense. And you're trying to listen, is there another breath like breathing right now? Like, and it does these wonderful things. We talked about how it just sets things up. It does these wonderful things where the camera will be on, the protagonist, and it'll just pan away. And it just, is on another part of the room.
Yeah.
And you're like scared. You're like, what's happening? You're like looking for the sign of the invisible man. And then either it just pans back, or she just walks into frame, and you're just like, what's going on here? Like it's just like, it just does that. It makes you, you're like, I know there's something I'm missing. I know, what am I supposed to be seeing here? When maybe there wasn't anything. And I am curious if on repeated viewings, are there actually things in those scenes that are signs of him there, and are they? Is it really just to tease us?
No, I was gonna. I wrote down that.
Well, it makes you align with her too, because not only is she looking for evidence, now you're looking for evidence too. So it makes you align with the protagonist, quicker and more, and it's just smart. Again, it's smart filmmaking.
And I appreciate that they didn't like make us wonder if she was crazy. Like from the beginning, we knew that she was sane.
That's a good decision.
And so many movies I think would have made like, ooh, don't know. I just feel like there was so much more sense of tension, and like I'm trapped with her in this. How is she gonna get out? How is she gonna convince people?
Yeah, there was a point at the end where I almost thought they were gonna do that. Where
I did too. Yeah.
And I was like, no, don't.
Yeah.
Because of what we had already been through with her, especially those scenes when she's in the psych ward and everything, and it's just like.
Well, I was having flashes of Glass. The movie Glass, because I was like, the reason that movie kind of falls apart, spoilers for Glass, is that they kind of put these characters that we've known for a whole, really 20 years into this movie where everyone thinks they're crazy, but we as an audience know for 20 years in our real lifetime that they're not crazy.
Right.
And so it frustrates us because we're like, we're wasting real estate, right? But like you're saying, we know ahead of time. It's just smart.
It really is. Well done.
No,
and Elisabeth Moss performance.
I was gonna say, we should, mention the performers here. There's obviously Elisabeth Moss in the lead. I do watch Handmaid's Tale. Like I've seen that. I've seen plenty of the movies she's been in. I've always appreciated
watched a lot of Mad
her.
Men.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Definitely watching Mad Men.
her range just is crazy. I would have never like pegged her to be in a like just a straight up horror movie,
I know, that's interesting.
but I guess she was in Us last year. But I mean, smaller part obviously.
Oh, she was in
But
Us.
but like to lead it and everything, and but no, I thought she did incredible. I really liked Aldous Hodge, who is kind of her. She goes to stay with him. I was never really clear on. I guess her sister was dating him.
Is that what it
I think
was?
they were
I don't
dating.
know.
I thought they were just family.
Maybe they're just
Yeah.
friends.
I don't know if they
That's kinda what I gathered.
even tried to tell us. I think they just
Yeah.
We just went a leap of faith.
yeah, they're friends.
I really liked him. He played MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton. He was he was in a movie called Brian Banks last fall.
See, I know him from
really
an old
good.
TV show called
Leverage.
which
Oh,
was
was he in that?
Yeah, he's the main
Okay.
character. It's basically the pitch of Leverage was, what if Ocean's 11 but a TV series?
Oh, okay.
And each episode is a new heist. And he was good in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I never.
it's fun.
Well, it isn't. Was the main guy in that? Was he in Haunting of Hill House?
He was an old
He
guy.
was the dad.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was, yeah.
Well, and that
Oh,
kind
okay.
of just brings up the Invisible Man.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him. Should we know
He's
him?
in Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, is he?
but he,
And also, it's a great. I mean, I don't know if it's spoilery or not, but one thing great about the movie was we don't really get to see, even in the beginning when you're introduced to the character who is the invisible, or her, ex-boyfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't really see him. So it's like already, it's that kind of classic Alien thing where you don't really see the monster, and so you kind of start you start filling in the gaps yourself as a viewer.
Mm-hmm.
They did that with the human though, and even though we know what humans look like, it's still something eerie about it.
Yeah.
Like, what does he look like? It
Right.
it keeps kind of build that suspense again, and it's just smart.
And I
I keep
think
saying smart. I'm
Oliver Jackson-Cohen.
Yeah, I keep saying
Yeah.
smart.
Was his name. But yeah.
In the opening, I thought it was just such a smart way to get into it.
Oh, it's smart.
They just jumped right into her leaving him. And I was waiting for like the typical, let's see them pretending to be happy and then let's show the abusive relationship and go through the like journey of it. And I, even having seen the trailer, and I was a little miffed at the trailer because I thought it gave like everything away. But credit to the movie, I enjoyed the hell out of it even though I pretty much knew the plot. But yeah, I just thought the opening, you were immediately tense. You're immediately aligned with her.
Yeah.
You're immediately like just on the edge of your seat and wondering what's going to happen next, and it just set up what would happen next just so perfectly.
Yeah, that opening sequence set the tone like
Perfect.
And again, the way it dollied out the information was just like,
Yeah.
it's just, I
It's
don't want to
such-
say, I'm not, it was intelligent.
Intelligent, there
It
you
was
go,
just
there you go.
sophisticated. Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of like title cards.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
great title opening.
sequences and things like that.
I noticed that too.
Like when someone puts enough effort into a title sequence, I'm like, okay, this is good. This means they're really invested in every aspect of this. And I
Sure.
just wanted to note that the title
Yeah.
cards in this were pretty great.
Well, it just shows
Yes.
confidence because I mean there is something special about starting like in media res, right? But having something like that where it kind of makes people like sit there and like do something that's typically not super fun.
Yeah.
Making them do that, it just to me shows confidence, and it was also a really creative way of doing it. In the atmosphere, the tone. It was just-
we talk about in film classes about narration happening even during the credits sequence.
Yeah.
Right, and this was totally like you were getting expectations of tone, but even like
and location.
But even like how the Invisible Man would have been like water
Right,
shows
yeah.
his position.
The
Like
foreshadow, yeah.
it was even foreshadowing like this is gonna be a key part of like how this works.
And it kind of looked like it was in black and white a little bit.
Oh yeah,
it felt like it felt like a classic like horror movie opening where it's like the stormy like pan up to the mansion on a hill in the stormy night. You
Right,
know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it just felt like that kind of moment.
Question though,
Answer.
let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. Is it better than Hollow Man?
I'm gonna disappoint you big time right now.
No, I'm gonna rip this thing off.
I haven't seen Hollow Man.
I haven't either.
Oh, you haven't seen Hollow
I
Man?
haven't seen Hollow
Oh
Man.
man,
So this is a typical podcast 2-for-1 episode.
It's a
Donovan brings something up and I haven't seen
it's a
it.
Kevin Bacon classic.
So I heard it
watch
was
it.
kind of terrible.
For some reason, I love it.
I mean, we're talking like 2001.
To be fair, he saw it.
It's like it's invisible.
I only haven't seen it because I was too young at the time, and then I never went back
Gotcha,
and
yeah,
watched
no,
it.
it's something you should watch. This is a better movie than that movie. But if you like Kevin Bacon, as you should, as all people should, then you should watch that movie.
That's fair enough. I mean, I did think it. 2001. I was 13, 14. So I did think it looked cool.
Yeah.
I remember like
It's got some cool stuff in it.
Yeah, I remember thinking like, oh, that looks really cool, and I had no idea what the old Invisible Man movie was, so I just thought it was a novel idea. But anyway, so I think we all enjoyed this movie a lot, and not to reduce it simply to a star rating, but here on Tavern Talk, we do out of 5-star ratings. So initial reaction, as always, the bid is we just walked out of the theater, just saw the Invisible Man. What would your gut reaction rating be for 2020's The Invisible Man?
I would say like 4 out of 5, and to me that's not even a slight. Like 4 out of 5 is a really great movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a movie I'll remember the rest of the year, like as like a top 5 movie of the year, but a fantastic movie that is really quality, worth seeing many times. I'd say.
I'm really mad that you gave it 4 out of 5.
You give him 5 out of 5?
No, I was gonna give it 4 out of 5 too.
Well,
I feel like I can't.
sucks to suck.
Can I do I can't do a point system. Can I? Like a 4.1 out of 5? Or
You can if you want.
You know what? 4.125 maybe is what we got. Actually, you know what? 2.41 actually. That's what it is. 2.41 is the rating we're doing.
So you gave it a 2 out of 5?
No, it's a 4. 2.41.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Anyway, yeah, 4. I'll give 4 out of 5.
Yeah, no. I feel like I need to be a little different, but I'll do 4.5. I'll do 4. It doesn't matter.
There you go.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
I'll do 4. I really liked it. Like I was genuinely, like I said, I was shocked how good this was, just from start to finish. How everything about it like seemed to fall into place, and it was just really effective. There's a moment in the middle of the movie where my jaw wanted to hit the floor.
Yeah,
and I was just
there's
like,
a couple of those, but one especially.
yeah,
just
there really is. Like he kept upping it, but yeah, I'll stick with 4.5. I'll go 4.5. So that's I think. Anybody else got anything to add about The Invisible Man?
Go see it.
Go check it out.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm right there with them. And if you're gonna check it out, as always, do so at a movie tavern. That's where we saw it tonight. As you can tell, really comfortable seating, really nice screens, all that good stuff. You can order food at your seat. It'll be brought to you by a lovely waiter or waitress. And thank you to Movie Tavern for letting us see the movies here every week and shoot the reviews in here afterward. Thank you guys again for joining me. I appreciate it. Tell them what you guys got going on and where they can find the podcast.
We do a podcast called Podcast 2 for 1. You can find us at podcast2for1.com. We talk about everything in the geekosphere, movie reviews, everything.
Basically, just whatever we're feeling like.
Yeah,
To be honest.
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, just movie stuff, nerd stuff, games stuff, whatever.
Whatever.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of good fun, and
it's fun. We do have fun.
if you watch it on their YouTube channel, it's a beautiful picture. Beautiful.
Got that video up, but we're also on all your podcast services.
Oh, yeah.
Spotify,
Yeah.
iTunes,
Google Podcasts,
probably some other ones. I don't know.
Also on Instagram at Podcast 2 for 1, Facebook, Twitter, all the good social media
We're
platforms.
everywhere.
We're not on TikTok.
We're an invisible man in your
But
life.
you do have
We're
your own
coming for
website.
TikTok.
We do.
So
Podcast2for1.com.
there you go.
Write it down.
Thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And if you like what you're seeing here on Tavern Talk by Initial Reaction, hit the subscribe button below, hit the little bell so you can get a notification every time we upload a new video, which we try to do every week.
Ding, ding.
We try to upload a new review of the biggest release every week. So definitely check that out. Thank you. Thank you guys once again. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Action.
Podcast 2 for 1, another stupid podcast out there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You hear about those two guys?
Yeah, they're idiots. Chodes even.
Chodes,
Yeah, that's a compliment.
I had to hold my breath for the chodes part. That was pretty good. Just gonna leave it rolling.
Oh.
Never heard that.
Give me 1 second.